Finding a wife is harder than finding a girlfriend.
Why do men seem to find it so hard to be alone?
I think if a man can get his sexual needs met without a relationship, he could be very content.
But I would say third date would be too soon, like way too soon for me.
No,
Like seven?
okay.
Yeah.
Seventh
10th,
year?
11th?
10th year?
I don't know.
Maybe? Like, I don't know, maybe I
Yeah.
can start doing it then. This is where it's like there's a difference between waiting for the right guy and then attracting the right guy. Yo guys, welcome back to another episode on my channel. I'm sitting in this spot, which means I've got another great conversation lined up for you today. You know, on this channel, we love to talk about all things dating, relationships, and seeing what we can do to attract the kind of person we want. So without further ado, please welcome Harmony to the show. Harmony, welcome.
Hi, thank you.
Oh my gosh, she's been waiting so patiently for us. We've had a crazy morning, but we're here, we're ready, we're present.
We are.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
We love it. So look, I'll always love to jump straight in. So first tell us your age or your age range, asking a lady her age. And then something a guy should know about you if you want to take you on a date.
Okay. Oh, good questions. So I'm Harmony. I'm 30.
Okay.
Something a guy should know about me if he wants to take me on a date. I love good conversation. I do like nice places. And I also like someone who with a bit of emotional depth. I'll say that. Yeah.
I hear that. Let's start with, I can hear the guys now. Well, let's start with the nice places. What do you mean by that?
Just somewhere where I feel like, you know, I can enjoy myself,
Okay.
somewhere that's like a nice setting.
Okay.
Obviously somewhere that, you know, maybe dinner, that kind of thing. Just somewhere that's like got a nice ambience to it.
Okay.
I think I wouldn't like somewhere that was a little bit like grimy or like dirty.
So a coffee date doesn't work for you?
I think coffee, like if you're in a relationship, you're already getting to know someone, that type of vibe.
Okay.
I think like for first date, I probably would say no. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Even
yeah.
if you like met the guy somewhere, like a networking event, you're like, okay, maybe this is the kind of guy that I could see myself with.
Okay.
But he's like, look, I'm open to dating you and stuff, but I'd love to just go for a coffee just to see if there's a vibe here.
Okay. So if I had met the guy and we'd had a good conversation and he seems, you know, established, you know, he seems like the type of guy that I could actually say, okay, yeah, cool. Then yeah, I'd go for a coffee with him. Yeah.
Okay. So is it for the guys that maybe, let's say they slid into your DMs or something, and then you'd be like, okay, you have to, you know, you got to take me out for a dinner date.
Oh, I wouldn't say that. I wouldn't say I wouldn't say that. If someone's, I don't really date people who slide into my DMs, to be honest.
Okay.
But yeah, I would just think like if a man wants to put his best foot forward, I'm sure he doesn't take a girl to Cafe Nero. It's just my opinion. It's just, I don't think there's anything wrong with it.
Instead.
Yeah, exactly. I love Starbucks. So yeah, that's just my thoughts. But yeah.
I hear you. And question actually, because I think a lot of guys expect, you know, you're an attractive woman, right?
Thank you.
So a lot of guys expect and know that, okay, so many guys will probably be sliding your DMs, right? And so guys often have this perception that, especially with attractive women, there's so many guys sliding her DMs that she can just choose whatever she wants, and she is just choosing whatever she wants. Is it often how often do you think it is for a woman to actually go and meet with a guy from a guy who's literally just sliding to her DMs and she has no idea, like she doesn't know anything about him, she's just from his profile?
I think, not to be disrespectful, unless that woman has nothing better to do, I think she would actually she'd hope for the man to try to get to know her. She gets to know him.
Okay.
Maybe a few conversations, like even on the phone, like a little bit of like due diligence to see like, do we actually get along?
100%.
Because the thing is like, you still have to get ready. You might have to pay for your Uber. He might offer, he might not. I think it would be, like, if you're not in a relationship, why would you ask? It's a bit like much, you know? So like, you're still spending money.
Yes.
So I think you'd want to make sure that he's like worthy, you know, worthy of your time, and vice versa. I think the man should actually get to know the woman and not just, oh, she's pretty, I want to see her. Like,
100%. I'm gonna give the floor to you because I know you had some things you want to talk about and ask about. So what's something you want to bring to conversation today?
Yeah, I mean, just on this thread, I had a different question, but just on this thread, I guess when you're looking, like maybe you slide in DMs, maybe you meet people in person, what do you think actually makes you want to escalate it from, I guess, talking to someone to actually meeting up with them? And why would you keep someone as just talking to them and not actually trying to like escalate?
Great question. Okay. So first one, what would make a guy want to escalate things, like to actually meet up. If the conversation is good, obviously, if he finds her attractive, he probably wouldn't be talking to her if he didn't find her attractive anyway. I think part of it could be her receptivity. So if she shows a level of genuine desire for him, you know, so sometimes, because let's just be honest, if you're single and available, you know, especially as a guy today, if he's a attractive, desirable guy, it's very likely he's entertaining more than one woman.
Yeah,
right?
of
That's
course.
just the landscape, right? So imagine if he's talking to two different women. If one of them is quote unquote, in her head, she's like playing it cool, right?
Yeah.
So she's like kind of really responding very like, you know, once a day or something. And, you know, she's thinking, okay, I'm going to play hard to get. But then another woman that he's maybe talking to, she's showing interest in him. He's flirting with her, but she's also complimenting him, you know? So it seems like that second woman has more desire for him. So he will naturally start to prioritize his energy and time with her over the girl who feels like she's playing it cool.
That's really interesting.
Does that make sense?
That's really interesting. Yeah.
Because ultimately, especially if a guy, you know, if he's a kind of guy who has clearly worked on himself, right? There are going to be some women who have a level of desire for him because of the man that he is, even if they don't know him, but it's like she's appreciating the work he's already done.
High value.
Do you see what I'm saying? And we always go where we should go where we're wanted.
Yes. Yeah, I agree.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, I do agree.
So it can give the impression, and the thing is, both women might be very interested in him.
Yeah.
But their approach is different.
Yeah.
And because of this different approach, it can seem like, okay, it seems like with this girl that I have to win her over.
To me. Yeah.
But with this girl, it's like, you know, in terms of whether he respects her or not, is how she dates him.
Yeah.
But the difference is showing desire for him, showing that interest, right?
Do you think that it depends? Because I would say personally, and I'm actually working on this,
yes,
but I would identify myself as like a bit of an emotionally cold woman at first.
Okay.
I'll warm up, but I would say that that's my natural disposition.
Okay.
You know, for reasons that I won't go into.
Okay.
But I feel like, do you feel like there are some men who like that whole like winning over, but then at the same time, I've seen what you said, because I've had guys tell me, look, I feel like you're not really interested. And I've been a little bit surprised at that. Both of the same caliber. But so what do you think? Why is there a difference there?
So a guy who like wants to chase where you're not giving a lot, he's not chasing you, he's chasing your validation.
Yeah.
And what's going to happen when you give him that validation?
Run.
He's going to stop chasing.
Yeah.
He's going to stop putting in the effort.
Yeah. Until you stop again. And
Do you see what I'm saying? And so then what happens is you almost condition that guy, and he's already operating this way, where he only wants you when you seem unavailable.
When he can't have you. Yeah.
But you can't build a relationship if you're not available.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
100%.
So, so in that sense, and I understand if you're like, when you say emotionally cold, do you mean that you don't express any level of desire? Is it that you're not open to emotional connection as quickly? Like, what is it?
Yeah, I think I do definitely, like, they know I like them because I'm responsive. Like, I wouldn't respond if I didn't.
Okay.
But I definitely am like slow, you know? Like, so maybe I am messaging back once or twice a day in the start, but it will warm up. Like, they'll know I like them because I will give words of affirmation here and there.
Okay.
But it grows. Like, it grows over time.
I hear that. So you said that guys have said to you that they thought that you didn't like them and that surprised you.
Yeah.
What were their reasons? What did they say?
Well, yeah, like along the lines of, there was one guy in particular where he said, look, like, I really like you, but I feel like, you know, I'm the one who's always initiating. There's never anything back. And he just outright said, he's like, if I'm trying to prioritize you, but then there's other women where it feels like they're more keen, it makes me feel like, is this the right decision? Now, I don't know if like, it felt genuine. I don't know how genuine that was. You know, it's hard to know.
Yeah.
But I could see where he was coming from. Yeah, I could see where he was coming
for sure. Because, okay, so let me ask you this. For like a first or second date, do you say, hey, I'm really looking forward to seeing you?
Yeah.
You do?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. That's good.
Yeah.
Okay.
Is that good? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think, it's like I said, because men, okay, women date who they want. Men date who they can.
Yeah.
Right? So...
Really? Date, do you think? Or maybe?
I mean, date, sleep with, engage romantically with, is what I should say. And so if there is a level of impression that I don't know if she's actually available to me, he's going to essentially worry that his investment isn't going to be worth it. It's for nothing. Now, I understand. I'm not saying that you should be trying to call him straight out the gate all the time, toss them all the time. But you should invest in him based on how much he's investing in you. As opposed to being like, okay, I'm only going to message him once a day. I'm only going to compliment him like this. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. I'm not saying that you are, but just in general. Yeah. So if he only messages you once a day and you respond in kind, cool, that's fine. But if he's being flirty and he is making more of an effort, then you can afford to reciprocate more of that energy. Right? As opposed to just be like, okay, cool, I'm going to play it safe. Yeah. Because I understand that. I understand wanting to play it safe, especially as a woman, because you don't want to waste your time, etc. But he doesn't want to waste his time.
That's true. That's true.
Do you know what I mean?
It's so difficult because it's a fine line. It's like you can be too cold, but then at the same time, you don't want to overdo it. So I feel like it's best to like be receptive and warm.
Yes.
But not initiate.
But like, let's say initiating a message. What's wrong with that?
Nothing.
So why are you afraid to do that?
I don't mind like once in a while. But
once in a while?
Yeah.
You don't really like him.
No, I do, honestly.
Really?
Yeah.
I think a lot of guys would, I'm saying from my own experience as well, when it's been, if I can initiate and she initiates as well, it's like, cool, there's reciprocal energy here. Because think of it this way.
But what's the split? 80-20? No,
95-5?
I need to know. Yeah. Yeah.
I think it
can't be 50-50 in terms of her initiating. Yeah.
I think it's okay. Let me put it this way. This has happened. Several years ago, I remember I was like, okay, I'm open to having a relationship. And there was a couple of girls I was kind of entertaining on the scene. Now, one girl was, and they were both great girls. One girl was initiating. She was probably initiating 60-70% of the messaging.
Wow.
Right?
Yeah.
She was probably initiating more. And I was like, oh, wow. Like, she's really making an effort. She's into it. Cool.
Yeah.
And the other girl, it was probably the other way where she would initiate a little bit, but it was mainly on me.
Yeah.
And purely because, and here's the thing, because they were both great, it's like, well, I'm not going to not talk to her if she wants to chat. Yeah. So because the other one had been initiating more, naturally more of my time, more of my energy, more of my focus went to her. Yeah. And then we ended up being in a relationship for 2 years and that other girl, nothing happened.
That's really interesting. Yeah.
Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah, I see what you're saying.
So I'm saying that now I'm not, there's no right or wrong to do this as a woman. I understand. But if a guy likes you and he knows he likes you and you're seeing those actions, then showing some initiative actually works in your favor, because for every hour he's talking to you, he's not talking to someone else. Yeah. For every date he has with you, he's not on a date with someone else. Yeah. So if you've been on a few dates and you're like, you got a free weekend and you're liking this guy, you can suggest like, hey, like this gallery there's this gallery came up. I'd really love to go. We should go. Why can't you do that?
I don't know. Like, I just can't. I don't know.
Why?
Like, it's really bad. Like, even when I was in a relationship before, he was like, why don't you ever like, I'd occasionally suggest things for us to do, but it was mainly him. But some men like making the plans. Like, I feel like, or maybe I'm just like misreading it, because like you see a lot of femininity coaches as well, and just women who will say, let him lead, let him initiate. I believe that the man leads the relationship as well. That's like my perspective. Yep. And so isn't that just natural? The occasional, but I would say third date would be too soon, like way too soon for me.
No,
maybe
seventh? Okay. The seventh year?
11th?
10th year, maybe? Like, I don't know, maybe I can start doing it then. Okay, so this is where it's like there's a difference between waiting for the right guy and then attracting the right guy. Waiting is very passive.
Yeah.
To be feminine isn't to be passive. You're active, but in different ways.
Yeah, in receiving mode.
Right?
Yeah.
So men pursue, women attract.
Yeah.
But women who just wait, nothing comes for them.
Yeah.
Now, some guys will pursue if she's
Yeah.
very attractive, etc. So it may not be nothing comes for them, but she's not actually attracting. She's just waiting for things, and she can only choose from the things that come to her.
Yeah, yeah.
But when you know how to attract what you want, whether it's a guy or that investment from the guy that you're seeing, that's where you have a lot more agency as the woman.
Yeah. Okay. This is valid.
So to be feminine doesn't mean to be passive.
Yeah.
It means to be receptive. And reciprocate.
Yeah.
So 100% you should offer, say like, hey, I saw this. I really want to do this. Let me know if you want to, let me know if you want to do this.
Yeah.
And guys really appreciate that. They really appreciate that.
Yeah. Yeah, that's
valid. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that makes sense. I feel like I've always reciprocated in other ways, but maybe also like suggesting is a good one. So
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, for sure. And I remember there was something else, the second part of your question, it was something about messaging. So why would a guy, how do you escalate, and why would a guy not escalate? Just keep you in the talking phase. That could be a reason, but it could be because if he's dating more than one woman, maybe he's already involved with one woman. And okay, I'm gonna give you some real.
I think the best thing in that situation is just cut them off. That's what. Yeah.
Cut them off.
Yeah.
I think it depends. If you guys have been talking for like a month, 2 months.
Yeah.
And he's not. And because you can invite him to ask you out, right? Because sometimes what can happen is
if like 2 weeks is the limit.
2 weeks,
definitely, maybe 1. Is that bad? Yeah.
It's not bad. I think. Do you know what it is? Okay, there are some women who they want to talk to a guy for a good 3 or 4 weeks before meeting them.
Fair, yeah.
And there's some women who are happy to, if they match from a dating app or something, they're happy to make plans within a few days because they're like, I'd rather just get to know you in person. Know you
and see, yeah.
But as a guy, we don't know that. Yeah, we don't know which kind of woman you are.
That's true.
And so it's like, we know you're not going to want to meet up with us until you feel comfortable.
Yeah.
So if you're the kind of girl who needs, you want to talk to a guy for 2 or 3 weeks before meeting up, but I suggest, hey, like, let's meet up this weekend.
Yeah.
That might make you feel uncomfortable. Be like, yo, you're rushing me.
Sometimes it's too much. Yeah.
Right? So guys can play it safe.
Okay.
They can be like, well, whether she's a girl who's happy to meet up straight away and get to know that way. I didn't even know
that guys think this. That's interesting. 100%. Yeah. Okay, yeah.
Like, whether you're the girl who's happy to meet up straight away or the girl who needs to talk for 2 or 3 weeks, he can play it safe by, okay, well, I know if I talk to her for 2 or 3 weeks, the likelihood is she's going to be way more comfortable no matter which girl she is to be meeting up with me.
So are you saying that if they don't play it safe, they don't care either way? Like, they don't care. It's just out of curiosity.
Not that they don't care, but it's just an approach some guys take.
Yeah.
Because they don't know if you're happy to or if you're not. Or the other, which sometimes happens, is, if he's a guy and he's entertaining multiple women, he could be involved with multiple women. So it's like, he's keeping a girl on the back burner.
Yeah.
That happens.
That's crazy. Yeah.
That happens. Do girls do that?
Girls definitely do it.
Do the girls keep guys? What does it look like when a girl keeps a guy on the back burner?
I'm trying to think. I don't think I've actually ever kept a guy on the back burner.
She's lying, guys.
Well, not intentionally. But I don't think, because I think for me, it's like you would definitely only want to be interested in them if you're interested. But what it looks like when a girl puts a guy on the back burner, she just won't meet up with him. Like
But she'll continue talking with him.
Okay. He'll ask her out. Okay, no. He'll ask her out, and then she might cancel plans last minute, or she'll have like an excuse, and like the first time, like maybe something genuinely happened. But when that keeps on happening, she doesn't answer his calls all the time, type of thing. So yeah, I think that's back burner.
Do you know what's really funny? Men and women actually treat each other the same way.
Yeah.
When they're not interested.
Yeah, so true. So true.
So like guys will be like, I'm confused. Like, she messages me, but like, I don't know if she's into me.
She's not.
And girls are like,
she's not
he's messaging me, but I don't know if he's into me. It's like, well.
It's
We
so
treat each other the same
true.
way.
I just assume if a guy isn't asking you out, he's not interested in you. That's how I take it. Is that accurate?
It really depends on the kind of guy that he is.
Maybe, yeah.
If he's the kind of guy who goes after what he wants, then yeah, that's a cue. But if he's a guy who's more chilled and he's like, I'm happy to take things slow,
Okay.
then he may be, because there's a level of awareness on, which is important, but there's a level of awareness on for guys to not feel like she's being pushed.
That's fair enough. Yeah, we don't have to think about safety from our perspective, but yeah, men
Does
have
that make
to.
sense?
Yeah.
So I would say if he's talking to, if you guys have been messaging consistently for more than a few weeks and he's not tried to put something in the diary,
that's very mad.
I would say that's probably not it. Does that make sense?
100%, I agree. Yeah.
Let me ask you something.
Okay.
What's something you know about men now that you didn't know 5 years ago?
A man can actually like you, but just feel like you're not the right one for him. Like he might like you, he might like things about you, even traits that he would think this is the type of woman I'd be with, but there's something about you that doesn't fit in with his lifestyle or exactly specifically what he wants. And he's going to make the decision, at least if he's, I don't know, like that type of person, based on his long-term vision, what will fit in with his crowd, his family, over even the girl he loves more sometimes. So I think
very true.
I learned that. Yeah.
That is very true. What does that look like? You know, if a woman's could be, if she was in that situation, what would that look like?
I think that would look like potentially if he's an unhealthy minded man, I'll just say that, or maybe I don't want to say toxic, but he might try and get her to change. But if he's more healthy minded, he might just like let her know like his preferences, still date her, and if nothing changes, he'll just let it be. Yeah, that's what I think.
That is very, very true. I had this exact conversation with Chengi, who we both know.
Did you?
Literally about a month ago. She was asking me on the situation. I was like, yeah, sometimes a guy can really like a woman, but be like, this isn't the one.
Yeah.
She's not compatible with the long-term goals and vision that he has, even though she actually may be a really great woman.
Yeah.
You know, for whatever reason.
He might even make her his girlfriend for a few years. Wow. In some cases, I think. I see it.
Do you think that's common? Do you think guys would be like, I'm going to be in a relationship with her, but I don't see her long term?
Actually, I don't think it's intentional. I think maybe while they're in the relationship, they might realize it.
Yes.
That's what I think.
That can happen.
Yeah.
That can happen.
Or do you think it's intentional?
I don't think it's intentional.
Okay.
Because I think most women that guys date, he doesn't want or offer commitment to. So if he does offer commitment to you, that really does mean something.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
So it can happen where I think what happens is, especially when guys are younger, the reason they get a girlfriend is because there's very different standards guys look for. Could be because she's hot and she's nice to be around, right? Yeah. But the standards that guys look for a girlfriend are very different from a wife.
Yeah.
And because sometimes I've seen girls say, oh, you know, she was with him for like 5 or 6 years. He never proposed, and he was with this girl for a year, and she got the ring. Like, what happened?
Women need to have a time frame. It's a time frame. Yeah,
maybe it's true.
Internally, don't tell him.
Internally, yeah. But I think the reason is because when guys are younger, they're not looking for a wife. No. They're looking for a girlfriend.
Yeah.
And a girlfriend is, who do I enjoy spending time with? We have great chemistry with.
Yeah.
And that's pretty much it.
Have fun, whatever. Yeah.
But when he's looking for a wife, when he becomes wife-minded,
mother of his
children, how is she going to fit into my life?
Yeah.
The standards become more specific.
Higher.
I think higher in some areas, but actually lower in other areas.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense.
So like what I mean is like, for example, if a woman has great character for a wife, he will compromise on looks.
Yeah, that's true.
Right?
I've seen that. Yeah.
He will compromise on looks because it's not always the most beautiful women who get the ring.
Yeah, that's true.
There are a lot of beautiful women who do.
Yeah,
but it's not always.
If it was just about looks, then yeah.
Do you see what I'm saying? Because if I speak for the guys, they would say finding a wife is harder than finding a girlfriend.
Yeah.
So when they find someone, he who finds a wife finds a good thing.
Yeah.
That's what it says in the Bible.
I mean, yeah, but for me, I just feel like personally, maybe this is, a bit delusional, but I feel like every woman is wife worthy. I feel like some women have been damaged, they've been hurt, they're acting out. But if you take their original essence prior to any men, or their choices in men, whatever we want to call it, disrupting them, I think every woman initially was. No?
Do you think every man is I'm gonna answer that.
No.
Okay, why do you think every man isn't husband worthy?
Because a lot of men aren't ready to settle down. Whereas I think women innately, typically from the get-go, are ready to settle down. Maybe, let's not talk like super, super early, but maybe 25 up, I'd say.
Okay, so let's do you think every guy who's ready to settle down is husband worthy?
No, I mean, no.
Okay, why not?
It depends what your definition of a husband is. I think
Your
for me, a
definition.
husband is someone who protects, who provides in whatever way he can.
Okay.
It's not always, it depends what the woman wants, but it's not always about providing 100%. That's what some women want. But it's about being able to look after and steer a family in the right direction, having emotional discipline and control, not making reckless emotional decisions, and giving a woman space to be emotional when she needs to be without being angry. So I think, I don't know, because with me, I've dated men within a range of ages. And sometimes even when I've dated older men, I'm like, wow, I would have thought, and you'll meet younger guys who are more mature than them emotionally. So I would say based on that. Yeah.
So what do you think the difference is between, let's say we have a group of guys, they're all ready to settle down, but there's some that you would consider husband worthy and there's some that you consider aren't. What is it about the ones who you think aren't husband worthy? Why do you think that? What's the difference?
They haven't prioritized the things that they needed to be in a position to guide and look after family. That's what I'd say. Yeah.
That's exactly why not every woman in guys' eyes is wife worthy.
Okay, fair enough.
Because they haven't prioritized and invested in the areas of themselves to develop and grow in themselves that he would consider to be a good wife and a good mother.
Okay. Yeah, okay.
For being honest. Because when a guy gets into a relationship with a woman, especially if he's going to marry her, he takes on a lot of responsibility.
Yeah.
Takes on a lot of responsibility. And not saying she doesn't have certain responsibilities throughout the marriage and relationship, but he takes on a lot of responsibility for the relationship and for her. Yeah. Right? A lot of the time. And so she really has to be an asset in some way, that he really sees those qualities in her. And
you're saying a lot of women aren't. This is a genuine question.
I think that we live in a culture that encourages women to invest in areas that doesn't make them good wives.
Doesn't make them feminine, because masculinity is celebrated in the
women.
world.
Yeah.
You see it even in your career. You have to have those more dominant traits. Then you take that, unfortunately, a lot of women will take that, apply it to dating. Yeah. So it's difficult. Yeah.
But ironically, masculinity has been reprimanded in men.
Yeah.
Men have been told that the standard is the feminine standard now.
In what way?
So, like, for example, if a guy sleeps with a woman, but then he's only interested in her casually, right? And let's say he sleeps with her, he leaves and doesn't talk to her again. That's toxic masculinity. Yeah. But if a woman does that, that's empowerment. Yeah. So men are being told that in order to be better people, they have to be more like women.
Yeah.
Like they have to,
yeah, that's what, do you think people say that's toxic masculinity? For a man to do that?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, okay, fair enough. If that's the narrative, I don't think it is, because unless they agreed to a commitment prior, it is what it is.
Yes,
but yeah,
I agree.
hear it, yeah.
I agree. Another example is like, if a lot of the time how men can process their emotions is very different to women. Yeah. So a lot of the time if a woman, tell me if I'm wrong, you tell me you're a woman, you tell me if I'm wrong. But a lot of the time if a woman's feeling emotional about something, She'll have it and she'll get her friends. She'll be like, all right, Jessica, Sarah, come, we're going to look at this. We're going to figure it out. Let's talk it out. Let's see what this is about.
Yeah,
Some women. Sure. A lot of time, guys, if there's something going on, they'll retreat. They go, okay, I want to understand what this is and why before I share it with anybody else.
Yeah.
That's a process. It's just a different process.
Yeah,
but men are told that, no, you have to process your emotions the way women do.
Yeah, I don't agree with that. But yeah, I mean, yeah, I feel like men, I don't know who tells men that though. I'm just trying to think. I don't know if I'm just completely delusional. Yeah.
No,
Okay.
I hear you, but I think this is what we see in media. This is why they say, oh, you know, the reason men are suffering is because they don't talk about their feelings the way women do. And it's like, men just process their emotions differently.
They do process it differently. But at the same time, I do feel like, see, maybe I'm contributing.
Nah, go for it.
At the same time, I do feel like there's a level where, like, how much can you take on by yourself? You do need to speak to people at some point, or is that wrong? Yeah.
I agree. And I do think sometimes guys can not open up, and that's not helpful. But they say women bond face to face, but men bond shoulder to shoulder.
Oh, I've never heard this.
So like if something's going on, you'll be like to your girlfriend, let's meet for a coffee, let's talk about this, right? But guys will be, let's train together. So we're training, we're doing a set, and they'll be like, oh, how are things going? Oh yeah, like my girlfriend, she said this to me the other day and I just didn't, you know, I can't lie, it just made me feel a type of way, etc. Oh shit, man. Like,
but do you think that's socialization?
What do you mean?
Do you feel like men feel like, if I was to just call my boy, I'll say how they say it, call my boy and just be like, oh, you know, I'm like going through this. Do you feel like they're also worried about like what that man's perception of him would be? Like, why is he telling me all this stuff? Whereas for women, it's just so normal to like call your friend and, you know, vent. Like, yeah, just wondering, what do you think about that?
I hear you. I think men are, the masculine, so I should say, has ambition, direction, and purpose. The feminine is more drawn to closeness, connection, and intimacy. So a lot of the time, when guys meet with their guy friends, there's like a purpose to be had, and they will share while they're accomplishing that purpose, because them accomplishing a purpose together is what bonds men. This is why they say brothers in arms, right? Because there's no harder purpose than being on the front lines with someone. But anyone who's been in the military, right? They're like, that's my brother. Because we achieved this mission together. We achieved this accomplishment together. So men achieving things together is what bonds them.
Is that why women like dinner dates and men like activity dates?
Yes.
But they'll do the dinner dates because that's what the woman wants. But really and truly, they don't care about having a conversation.
That's exactly it.
Okay, now it makes sense.
If me and my one of my like entrepreneurial friends, right? When we catch up and whatever, half the time we talk business, but we're training together. Or we're like at a networking event together, or we're playing a game together, right? Where there's a mission to be accomplished in the activity that we're doing. We don't just go, hey, let's just meet up for a coffee and chat. What we'll do is maybe we'll train and then we'll go get food.
That's interesting.
Does that make sense? But the mission has been accomplished that day. And that's just how easier men bond.
That's just how it is. Okay, fair enough.
What's another question you want to have? I know you had a few things. Yeah, go for it. Go for it.
Okay, I did have this question. Why do men seem to find it so hard to be alone? A woman can be completely content and single and actively be trying to avoid speaking to any men. But it seems like men can't stop sliding in her DMs or reaching out to her, even though they know she wants to be single. And it seems that men always have someone there, even when they're single.
If you're loving this episode and these kinds of conversations, then I want to give you something. We recently launched the Kits Angels community. This is a sisterhood for women who are tired of what the dating scene has given them and are ready to take their love lives to the next level. It's a space for you as a woman to not be alone in your journey to love, where we learn, talk, and share our experiences as part of a strong sisterhood, with some leadership and guidance from yours truly, of course. Not to mention never before seen videos from me on how I've led dozens of women to meeting great men. And so as a thank you for watching this episode, I'm giving you a month's membership completely complimentary on me. Just click the Kits Angels link below, and when you join the group, message me the code phrase Angels podcast, and I will pay for your membership. Now back to the episode.
Okay. I think there's a misconception in terms of being alone.
Okay.
Men want sex.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
They don't mind being, I actually think, so funny. I was literally having this conversation with Chengi like 2 days ago.
Okay.
I think it's actually easier. Men are more accustomed to being alone than women. Women are more social creatures.
Mm.
I think if a man can get his sexual needs met without a relationship, he can be very content.
Yeah.
So when a guy's pursuing a woman really strongly, what that is more likely a reflection on is his lack of sexual abundance.
But is it also like, because I read somewhere that it's like men can chase sex, but sometimes underneath it all is a desire for intimacy and closeness that they don't recognize that they have because of socialization and all that stuff. Yeah,
for sure. I think every human being wants closeness and intimacy. Like I think most men and most women want to be coupled up with a great partner.
But if women are single, they'll get intimacy and closeness more from like friends, etc., whereas men won't. So
I think there's a stronger need in men. I think there's a stronger sexual desire in men than there is in women.
Yeah.
And that's not saying that women don't have a higher drive, because with the right guy, she will want it all the time. Yeah, with the right
guy, yeah.
But if the right guy ain't there, it can be
random
dead.
Men. No.
Right.
Yeah.
For guys, doesn't work that way.
Yeah, no.
Whether he's with the right guy, right girl, wrong girl, he can still want it.
I know, it's so crazy, but yeah.
So in regards to guys being alone I would say it's definitely harder for guys to go without sex than women, for sure.
Yeah.
But I think it's easier for men to be on their own than women.
Yeah, okay.
Does that make sense?
True. That's definitely true. Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I agree.
Because usually the guys who are just like constantly on your case, whatever, like this is a guy, he doesn't have any other options.
Yeah. Oh, wow. Okay.
Do you know what I mean? Not all the time, but
yeah, not all the time. Yeah.
But if he's like, as in, if you're not giving him anything.
Oh, okay. No. That's,
and he's so on your
case.
That
means he doesn't.
Like, actually, genuine question. What does that tell you about a guy? Does that say anything? Or is this like, this is a guy who's making real effort with me?
If I was giving him nothing back and he was still going, this is harsh, but I think he's quite low value. Because if you're not giving someone anything and that's very, very like wild, like have some respect for yourself. That's how I'd see it.
Yeah.
I know it's more acceptable for men to chase, however, than it is for women. Like if a woman did that, how would you feel?
If she did what?
If she kept on messaging you and you weren't giving her anything back? Men love it. It's an ego stroke.
That's a great. Yeah, it does, because it doesn't. It's so interesting, because that doesn't really happen for guys.
Yeah, it doesn't.
And what I mean is, even if a girl's really into you, what she'll do is she'll try and drop hints that she likes you, but she won't actually.
No, you can't.
She won't actually like pursue you like that a lot of the time.
Yeah.
So if a girl's really like that, then it's like, okay, she's just really into me.
Would you think she's weird, or what would you think?
No.
Oh, really?
No. I don't think she's weird. I think it'd be like, if I'm being honest, I think guys would be like, cool, this is a sexual option that I know I can indulge in whenever I want.
That's what I think they view it as. They don't view that as like wife or even girlfriend. They're like, okay, this is like access for me.
I think he can, based on how she dates him.
Okay, yeah. Even if she pursues him. And then, this is news to me. Wow.
So I think a lot of times some women can think, what makes me come across as wifey material is by being really reserved.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah.
Where actually guys like a woman showing desire in him, but it's how she dates him that makes him see her as a casual option or a serious potential. So is she coming over to his house and sleeping with him on the first date? Yeah. Is she only having Netflix and chill dates? Because she may have been hard to get, but if that's how she dates him, she's going in the casual zone.
But why? Yeah, because that's interesting. Because I've noticed that men will almost, because obviously I'm dating right now, men will almost, like they can be taking you seriously, but then they throw out a little test.
Yeah,
like just to see if you're going to take the bait, just to see if you're going to come to their house, even though so they've taken you on a few dates, like proper dates, everything's going well. He's being respectful.
Yes.
Nothing, crazy has happened. And then he'll be like, oh, I'm actually just having a chill one tonight. And maybe like share a picture of him or like share his just do something a little bit of a wild card. And you have to be like, why are you sending me your location?
Okay,
Yeah.
so you're right. It is a test, but I don't think
Yeah.
it's not a test that you think it is.
Is it not a test to see if he'll come over and like,
So do you think it's a test to see if you can be like a casual hookup?
a test to see if you'll sleep with him soon and then he'll stop pursuing you. That's
Okay.
how I feel like, yeah.
You said he like send you pictures of him, maybe like a sexy picture or something.
No, not
or...
like a sexy picture.
Oh, okay.
But maybe something along the lines of just a picture of him at home, or
Yeah.
not in that kind of way, like share his location, just to see if you're going to like be like, oh, you're out tonight, I'll come and join you. Just to see if he can do like a last minute date or get some kind of last minute access to you.
Okay, I see.
Yeah.
So a lot of the time that is a test to see if you have desire for him.
Oh.
If you have genuine desire for him. So I know, like you said, right? You said that sometimes you can start off quite emotionally cold and reserved. So he's like, okay, I'm going on dates with this girl, but I'm not seeing a lot of desire from her.
Right, okay.
So he's like, does she actually desire me? Like, is she physically attracted to me? Because remember, the same way you're trying to mitigate making sure you don't give yourself to a guy who's only looking to hook up,
Just want to be used.
guys are trying to make sure they're not giving their time and investment to a woman who's just want to enjoy his attention.
Yeah, that's true.
Because that happens.
Yeah.
Right? Girls will be going out with guys, and girls know full well she has no genuine desire for him, but they'll be taking it because it makes her feel good. So this is to see is, do you have a level of desire for me?
Yeah.
Are you just enjoying receiving my investment, or are you actually wanting to be like, you're actually into me?
Yeah.
Now, there's nothing wrong with him being spontaneous, but like, hey, I'm out and about, would love to see you. That's okay. And if you accept that as a woman, that's completely cool too.
Okay, fair enough.
Do you know what I mean? But if he's doing it a lot,
all the time, yeah,
that's a red flag.
Yeah.
Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah, I see what you're saying.
Like, there's nothing wrong with a Netflix and chill date.
In the early days?
Well, that's what I'm saying in terms of how early.
Yeah,
So I mean, like, if you've been dating for a couple of months, Netflix and chill date, there's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
But if that's the first date, and the second and third, no.
Yeah. So if you invited a girl for a Netflix and chill date and she came, what would you think?
Depends. How long have we been dating? Is it the first time?
Like the start.
So I've never met her, but she comes over.
Third, yeah.
Second, third date?
Yeah.
Second date. And if she came over, so is the second date the second time I've met her, or have I known her before?
Second time.
Second time I've met her.
We need to know what men really think, because I don't agree with it. But
it's true. I'm gonna. So if only, let's say the first date was a drink, second date she comes over for Netflix and chill, and we do sleep together. I'll be honest, she would likely be seen as more as a casual option.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
With a caveat. Because thing is, it can happen, even if a woman sleeps with a guy on the first date, which I never recommend.
Yeah, I don't.
Even if she does, there is actually one way where it can play to her advantage, especially if he's indulging or entertaining other women. Because she's now entered that intimate space with him, she now has the opportunity to add value to his life that the other women aren't there yet.
That's interesting.
So for example, I'll give you an example. I remember I was doing a show in Cardiff. This was 5 years ago, maybe. And one of the other lead actresses in the show, South African, beautiful black South African girl, like gorgeous.
Oh, yeah, they're pretty there.
They are, like South African women.
South African friends,
like,
stunning.
I'll give it to you, man.
I'll
for
give
real.
it to you.
And she'd come over from South Africa to do this show. The show was only for a couple of months. There was obviously chemistry there. We got on really well. So we already knew what it was. We knew there was an expiry date on the time we had together. So we were just having fun.
There's no long term,
Right. Mm-hmm. So obviously, it started that way. But every time I went over, right, she would offer to wash my clothes. Every time I stayed in the morning, she would cook a full English breakfast.
That's so nice of her. Yeah.
Right? She would really endeavor to take care of me as if I was like her man, her king.
Yeah.
So, and I'd never had this before.
But does that make you feel like, and I'm not insulting her, I'm not, but they use this term like pick me. Does that make you feel that way?
So this is what happens.
Question. I'm not saying she is.
Sure.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So I already knew it was just to be casual, but because of how she was showing up and doing these things, I legit started to consider maybe I could make this work.
Really?
Because she had
That's
started,
sweet.
because she had, and it's just a very cultural thing. I'd never experienced that before. That she's only South.
It's cultural. It's not like she was trying too hard. I get it.
Yeah, but like from what I've been told, South African women are very much like that.
Oh, that's nice.
So it's like she had begun to add so much value to my life, right? In those feminine ways.
Yeah.
That even though I knew from the offset there was an expiry date, even though I knew, this is just casual, I actually started to think, yo, could I make this work?
Yeah.
Because I was like, I've never met a woman like this before.
Oh, wow, that's impressive.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So as a woman, even if you, like I said, I don't recommend it because it's not the best approach.
It's not happening, but yeah.
If a woman can add value to a man's life, even if she sleeps with him quite early, that can still demonstrate her as long-term potential because she's adding value to his life that other women aren't.
See, me personally, I'd be like, you messed up, move on. Because you're now going to have to go above and beyond in a way you wouldn't have in the start. So just get next, but not in a mean way.
No, I hear what you're saying.
That's how I tell her. But I would tell her not to do it in the first place.
I would say not to do it.
Yeah.
But the things that she's doing though is what a woman, if we're talking about to get the attractive high value guy, is what a woman would need to do further down the line to get his commitment anyway.
Yeah, agreed. Yeah, definitely. But
she's
not
just
in the
doing
start.
it. Well,
now she's like, and I don't want this to sound rude, but I feel like in the start, men are in a sense not performing, but they're putting the best foot forward.
Yes.
And the woman reciprocates, and then it eventually matches up. I think she, does stuff for him, he does stuff for her, but it's like, I don't want to like perform in the start. Is that bad? Like, I can't cook for a man in the start. Like, that's wild.
Why?
Because cooking is very intimate. It's very like personal.
Can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
What's harder? Cooking an omelette for someone?
Omelette, okay, that's
Or planning an outing where you have to go pick him up. You take him to a nice restaurant. You spend about £120. Make sure he gets home safe.
Do.
I'm just asking, which one's harder?
The one that the man does, planning the outing,
Is he doing that from the gate? From the jump?
Yeah.
So what's wrong with you making an effort from the jump?
Because he wouldn't be in the house anyway.
Well, fair enough. I guess if he's not in the house, that's fine.
But maybe if he's at your house and, if you're making breakfast, obviously, naturally make him breakfast. But yeah.
Shall I tell you what it is? I understand the reservation to be showing up as a girlfriend.
Yeah.
Like before getting the commitment.
Yeah.
But you have to show up as a girlfriend to become the girlfriend.
Yeah, that's true.
So I told you before the cameras were, I told you I'm an actor, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I train in musical theatre. So I sing, act, dance. Me saying, you going like, okay, I'm not going to do these things until I get the commitment.
Yeah.
It's like me going to an audition saying, hey, I'm not going to sing this song for you until you give me the role.
Until you give me the role. Give me the role first. Yeah, that makes sense.
That doesn't make sense.
Yeah, that's true. But don't you feel like, because I'm just trying to think, like, I don't know in what scenario you'd be. Maybe if you had him around for dinner. It depends how reserved you are. Like some people might have someone around for dinner on the third, fourth day.
Yeah, that's
It just depends in the direction it's going. So I guess in that scenario you would cook for him, but I don't know.
So for example, I said, so I've coached a few women on this as well, right? So for example, where a woman says, okay, I met with him and I slept with him on the first night. Like, what do I do? Right? I'm like, okay. Imagine if you're lying there in bed with a guy that you slept with him on the first day. You don't want this to be like a one night stand. It's like, here's what you're going to do. You're going to do 3 things. Okay. 1, you're going to make breakfast for you both. 2, you're going to fold his clothes, put it at the end of the bed. 3, you're going to let him sleep in.
I can't do that for a guy. I would just tell her, would you not just tell her let it go?
But she said that this is the man that she wants.
But can't you just say you'll find another? Like, honestly, hon, you're going to have to do too much now. It's going to put you in your masculine pursuing energy.
Do you think?
I'd rather.
Do you think that's her and her masculine energy? Her making a meal and throwing his clothes at the end of bed and letting him sleep in?
That's not masculine, no. But I think her trying to impress him is. That's what I think is masculine. I don't think her like looking after him. I think when a man's already shown you that he's loving, he's kind, you're more than happy to like love him. And, we've all been in relationships, like you do those things naturally. But I think doing all that for a guy you've just met,
Well, we're talking.
how do you think he'd feel about it? It's a genuine, yeah.
So he would. So what I would say is this is a circumstance where she slept with him, right? So she's trying to rectify,
Yeah.
right? Obviously, with the approach that I think both of us would say is we're more aligned with, she wouldn't have slept with him on the first date anyway. But let's say she has, but she's like, I really see potential with this guy. Harmony, you and I both know high quality men, they are few and far between.
That's true, yeah.
So if you've come across that 1 in 50 guy, you're like, I don't want to mess this up. Okay, I've slept with him already. Is there a way I can still ensure that this is going to go somewhere serious? What's the best way for it to go down the serious relationship route?
Yeah.
This is the best way. How would a guy feel? I'm going to be honest with you. Most women don't do that. So he will go, that's some girlfriend material right there.
Okay, that's interesting.
I'm seeing these girlfriend qualities that, frankly, a lot of guys don't see. Because I said
would that also depend at the stage he's in his life? So let's say he's in his 20s, regardless if she's found those clothes, he's getting out of there. But maybe if he's approaching 40 and he's actually looking, he might think, that's a bit soon. But actually, do you think that could be the case? Or even 30s?
Yeah, I think timing is important. So like, for example, if a guy is just not open to something serious, it doesn't matter what you do.
Yeah.
You could approach it in the right way where you don't sleep with it until the second year, or no, I'm just joking. But where you approach it in the way you would. If he's not open to a relationship, it's very unlikely it's going to happen,
so
right?
True.
So with this situation, this is where, okay, if he's open to a relationship and you've slept with him on the first date, this is gonna more likely put it on the right track.
Yeah.
Now, here's the thing. There's no guarantee. Nothing in life is guaranteed.
There's no guarantee.
You can date a guy the way you have completely right in terms of, he takes you out nice places, you're investing, show desire, all of this stuff. You do these things, you demonstrate your girlfriend, wifey material.
He can still sleep with you and cut.
And he can still just be like, you're an amazing woman, but you're just not for me.
You're not for me. That's true. Yeah.
That's life. But guys all the time have to make upfront investment where there is zero guarantee.
That's true.
All the time.
But they invest not as emotionally.
What do you mean?
Like, so men make the investment definitely and they're emotionally getting there. But I think women get feelings more. Like, women's feelings are more pronounced, I would say, than men's. So they can withdraw easier.
Who, the men?
Less scathed, more unscathed. Is that the word?
I would say that a woman's emotions become a lot more invested once they've started being intimate.
Yeah.
Before that, I don't think there's as much emotional investment. Not that it can't be, but I don't think there's as much romantic investment until there's been some level of physical intimacy.
Yeah, I'd agree.
On her part.
I'd agree. Mm-hmm.
So guys they have to, and here's the thing, for most 99% of guys, most of their upfront investment amounted to nothing.
Don't get paid back. Yeah.
Zero. Zero.
That's true.
And this is why guys...
Do they care? Because sometimes they date multiple women. So it's like, do you really care?
Of course they care.
Oh, okay.
But they're like, well, this is just how it is.
Is what it is, yeah.
Like, I can't... It's like, as a man, it's like, okay, well, I can't even have the opportunity to even have an option as a woman unless I'm willing to invest.
Yeah, unless I don't want to date women, this is what I have to do.
Right?
Yeah, exactly.
But this is why, and this is why I'm saying, the landscape is always evolving. This is why more guys will do a coffee date first.
Yeah.
Because he wants to see, one, do I actually like who she is, right? Before I invest taking her somewhere nice, right? Giving my time, money, etc. But also... They want to see, because some girls are just out here trying to get a free meal.
That's true, and it's not that serious. You can go out with your friends. I don't think it's that serious.
What do you mean?
like girls should just go out with their friends if they want to do that. I don't think you need to. Maybe when you're in your mid-20s, a couple of free dates here and there. But I think at some point you need to mature.
You see,
So
fellas,
what would
they
you
do it.
think?
You see,
How, when you're younger and you're just like having fun, guys do
This
a lot
is
of
what-
things. Guys sleep with a lot of women when they want to have their fun. Girls can have some dates.
Oh, I hear
Yeah.
you, but like this is why you're mitigating for casual sex. He's mitigating for wasted time and investment.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Do you know what I mean? But yeah, you had a question.
So, if you invited a woman on a coffee date and she was
Yep,
like,
which I have.
now, now, I'm not saying women should decline it in a disrespectful way. I wouldn't say that. I would, but if she declines and you suspect it's because it was a coffee date, what do you think? And how does that, what would you do? Especially if it was a woman you really wanted. Let's say
How do I
that
know
way.
that I really want her if I don't know her?
Looks. Some guys like literally that will be then like if she literally looked like your dream woman and she said no, would you then be like, okay, dinner?
Would you really want to be with a man who has heavy desire for a woman purely because of how she looks without even knowing her character?
No.
Okay, cool. So that's not me either.
No. Okay, that's good.
So-
Stand up guy.
Just be honest. I mean,
Mhm.
I get it, but I mean, I think that
It'd be
If I'm
like
just
being
being-
with a man just because of money, which isn't,
it's like you can't trust that woman.
No.
Because if you're a man with money, likely you're going to be around other men with money,
Mhm.
which means she can be easily taken from you.
That's true. Yeah.
So if you're going to choose a guy because he just really wants you because your looks, if he's around other beautiful
No,
women,
it's
how
not.
can you trust him?
Exactly. You can't.
You want a man to choose you for your character
For your
and who
character,
you are.
yeah.
So if I say, yeah, let's go for a coffee date, because let's say I've never actually met her before. Maybe we connected on social media or a dating app or something. And if she said no because it's a coffee date, that would tell me two things. That would say, okay, one, she's not seen value in me as the man that I am to actually just get to know me in a sober environment. So there's not enough
Yeah.
desire there. And two, I would not pursue it with her.
Yeah, no, I agree. Recently I've been rethinking because someone did invite me for a coffee and I said no, but he was actually a really great guy. And I started thinking, we hear a lot of things on social media. Is it that bad? Like if he keeps going down the coffee route after what, you might be like, okay, he doesn't. But maybe it's not that bad. I might rethink that one.
Can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
Do you think Michael B. Jordan is like a very attractive, high value guy?
Yeah.
Okay. If he asked you for a coffee date, would you go?
Yeah.
Why?
I mean, I don't know.
That's
but-
exactly my point.
No, I'm having a think. I'm like, I don't know because like I would just think
Because
the
you know he's not
woman-
just trying to sleep
No,
with
do you know what it is? I would think the woman who he actually was. I think the way women take it is we see it as the woman that the man really wants. He wouldn't want to take her for a coffee. It's okay if you don't really want me, but I want a man who really wants me.
Okay,
That's how the woman feels.
But
yeah.
how can a man really want you if he doesn't know you? Because then that means the
Yeah.
only men you are going to be choosing are men who are going to really want you because you look good.
No, but like on the phone, these different types of things.
Sure. So let's say you have a phone call, Michael B.
Yeah.
Jordan. He's like, I want to take you for coffee. Let's meet for a coffee and actually get to know each other in person. You would go on that date.
I don't know, because I would just feel like he wouldn't take Laurie Harvey, which is fine, like Laurie Harvey. But I just feel he wouldn't take her for a coffee. So if
You don't know that he didn't.
if you're not his dream girl, I just feel like it's not worth it for women.
But this comes back. How,
Yeah.
unless we're talking about looks, how can you be his dream girl if he
I
doesn't
do feel
know
like
you?
even looks wise, you need to be a man's type, really, ideally.
But that's
Yeah.
why he's asking you out.
Really.
If a man's asking you
Okay.
out and wants to meet with you, it's because he finds you attractive. He's attracted to you.
Yes,
But that
do
doesn't
you
mean that he
think-
wants you.
Yeah, but do you think he can be attracted to you like, yeah, she'll do kind of thing? Not even in a mean way, like she'll do, but she's not really, that.
So what I would say is that if he's only interested in something casual, right, and he's like, yes, whatever, he'll try and invite you to his house.
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
But we know that men don't invest with their sexual time; they invest with their non-sexual time, right? So it's the time that it's not the time that he's being intimate with you. That's an investment. It's the time that he's not being intimate with you. So, for example,
Right.
you going to his house and sleeping together and staying there for the night, and him actually going on a walk with you for 2 hours, the walk is way more investment for him.
Yeah.
So this is why I say a coffee date, like, he's not just trying to sleep with you. He's
not
giving you his
just
time
trying
and
to get
attention.
something.
So he's actually making an investment.
Yeah, okay. I need to rethink this.
Does that make
one.
sense?
Yeah. I need to rethink.
I think she'd go on a date with Michael B. Jordan for a coffee. I
no,
think she
that's
would.
Michael Jordan.
That's what I mean. But that's because there's enough desire for who he is as a man
Yeah.
that you're like, I can see a level of who he is and I have desire for that. So I'm open to getting to know him in this space. Because at the end of the day,
maybe we're a bit like in our ego, like, oh, you're taking me for coffee. Maybe women need to get out of their ego with that. That's maybe a little bit bad. Maybe because they've had a lot of offers and that might be, the thing.
I understand that. I think, here's the thing. There's no right or wrong. It's just an approach. But what I would say is that if you are two things, if I would always, and I have two younger sisters, and I'd always say this to them, if a guy really wants you purely because of your looks, you should be suspicious.
That's bad, yeah.
So when women are like, well, he should, if he really wanted me, he would take me out. I'm like, girl, he doesn't even know you.
He doesn't know you. That's true. Yeah,
he doesn't even know you.
True.
So how can he really, like, if a guy really wants you just from your looks, that should make you look at him sideways.
Yeah.
Because that is a guy who is easily manipulated.
Yeah.
Right? Mm-hmm. You can't trust him around other beautiful women.
No, yeah.
And the second thing I would say is, look, if you're like, hey, dinner, that's my standard, etc., you have to do this, that's cool, that's fine.
Yeah.
But what I would say is this. If you expect something from him, he's going to expect something from you.
Doesn't mean you have to give him it.
Doesn't mean, but
yeah, no, I know what you're saying. Yeah.
I'm just saying there's nothing wrong with that, but you risk it becoming a transactional relationship.
That's true.
And a lot of women who get flying out, they get guys spending money on them, all of this stuff right out the gate. The guys aren't doing it because of the goodness of their heart. They're doing it because they're trying to get something.
Yeah, that is true. And then, they try and drop hints and you're just like, no.
That's it. One last thing you want to ask and then we'll wrap up. What's one last question you want to bring to the conversation?
Yeah, one last question. So what is a guy's thoughts? Now, obviously a woman's not going to. So maybe he's dating her and she might be rotational dating. I think that's what they call it.
Where she's on his rotation?
Oh no, she's rotational dating.
She's got rotation. I wouldn't say
he's like on her rotation because I view rotation as like when you're sleeping with multiple people. Is that rotation?
Yeah.
Yeah, as opposed to like just dating. So she's dating other guys.
Okay.
So if he's getting to know her and maybe he's like really actually quite invested in her and she's still dating other men because there's no commitment yet and so there's no guarantee, how does that make him see her? Does it make him think, okay, like maybe not even doing it out of manipulation, but does it make him think, okay, I should commit, or does it make him want to take a step back?
So one thing I would say is that guys always assume that women are dating other guys because she's attractive. So guys, we already know that you always have options. Okay. So we always assume that there's other guys potentially on the scene. If you're dating other guys and if you're still dating other guys and we've been dating for a few months, I'd be like, you're just not into me.
Yeah.
Because guys know that when a woman's really into a guy, she tends to only want to invest her physical time with him. Most women aren't out here looking to sleep with multiple men.
Yeah. What if you weren't sleeping together then and she was still dating other people because she doesn't, until commitment? Yeah.
So then if you're not sleeping together, if you haven't been physically intimate at all, he would be questioning whether you have desire for him.
Before relationship?
Yes.
Really?
Yeah, this is 2025. This isn't like, people are waiting to marriage.
Yeah, it's not even necessarily, some people can wait till marriage, that's fine. But some women don't like to sleep with a man and then it goes nowhere.
Of course.
And you've developed a strong, connection. Women tend to bond with men after intimacy, especially if he's courting her. They're doing all these things.
Of course.
She might not want to risk that emotional and that level of attachment if then nothing comes of it.
I completely understand. Equally, guys don't want to be putting in all their time or their effort, their finances to a woman that's just not going to go anywhere.
Yeah.
But no risk, no reward.
Okay, fair enough.
So I think what happens is men become better at choosing the right woman to take that risk with. And as a woman, you become better in choosing the right kind of man to take that risk with. So if you see that he's investing in you seriously and things are going well, because the thing is, you can become exclusive and then he can end things in 2-3 months because he's like, this isn't the woman to me.
That's true.
That-
but then
like,
you don't
there's
feel
no-
like you've lost. As a woman, you just don't. You
Oh,
don't
really?
feel like you just, there's something about you that like, if you had sex with a guy before commitment and he doesn't commit, you feel like you just, a lot of women feel a type of way if
I
they
get
liked him. Whereas if you had the commitment, it didn't work out. It just was like, well, it didn't work out.
I completely get that.
Do you know? There's just a part of that. Yeah.
I get that. That makes sense. If I'm going to be honest, I think you'd be very, and you date guys, so I could be wrong, but I think you'd be very hard pressed to find a guy who would establish a relationship, committed relationship, before any level of physical intimacy today.
It's possible.
Possible,
Yeah, it's
but I think
possible.
you'd be very hard pressed to find that because the
Really?
because if I'm gonna be honest, the kind of guy
But
that most
mature
women-
men, like this is why women need to date older men who are ready. So like really is a 38-year-old, 40-year-old going to be pressed?
well, because what I would say is if he's a desirable, successful man,
Yeah.
he's going to be dating 24, 25-year-olds. 26,
Is he?
27,
I don't
28-year-olds.
know 26-year-olds that date 40. I mean, I did when I was 26, but most of my friends were like, what are you doing?
Sure, but it still
Yeah.
happens.
Okay, yeah,
And
true.
most people, I say most people, I'm saying most men, but most women today will be physically intimate with a guy before commitment.
That's true, yeah.
That's just the landscape of market.
I'm
we
not
live
going to
in.
go down that route. But yeah, fair
Yeah,
enough. Yeah.
listen, there's
but
no
yeah,
right
I
or wrong.
get it. Yeah, it makes sense.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Mhm.
But listen, we're gonna wrap it there, Harmony. You've been an absolute pleasure. We have to get you on again.
It's been nice
We have
speaking
to
to
get you on
you.
again
Thank
for sure.
you.
If people want to find you, follow your content, where can they find you?
You can find me on the.divine feminine mindset on Instagram and divine feminine mindset on TikTok. Recently started my journey. Hope
Come
you
on.
guys like.
Come
And
on,
thanks, Kit,
100%.
for having me on.
No, we love that. We love that. Yeah. So listen, guys, definitely go check out Harmony. She's got some great content on there. I think
Thank
we literally
you.
messaged to get her on like a day after she started. So
Yeah.
the content she's got on there is definitely worth it. But thank you for coming on and
Thank
sharing
you
your
so
energy. We
much.
appreciate you. Guys, thank you for tuning in, and I will see you in the next episode.